Hey ladies, how are we? It is Monday evening and we are live talking about cortisol and perimenopause. So if you're joining me, welcome. If you are watching the replay, hashtag replay for later so that I can follow along and answer any questions you may have. So for those of you who may not know me, I'm Lindsay. I'm an integrative health practitioner plus I used to be a nurse, so I have a background in nursing. And I have a couple of degrees behind me as well in the health and wellness space. So you are well equipped. If you are in this group and you are struggling with perimenopause, or you might be in here just looking around, not even knowing what perimenopause is. So let's just define that right now so that we can start talking about what it is. What is perimenopause? When does it start? And you'll see a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon at the moment because perimenopause is now a thing, right? It was always menopause. But this time in your life, which is the transitional period from when you're having normal periods to when things start to change in your cycle, and it's that basically leading up to menopause. So menopause is really, when you talk about menopause really is just a day when suddenly you don't have a period any longer and you're not releasing eggs and suddenly you're in menopause, alrighty? And then post-menopause is where I am now, whereas I don't have any periods anymore. I've gone 12 months without a period for now, 2 years, nearly, I think. So I am in post-menopause. I'm not in menopause. So this period of perimenopause that everyone's now jumped on the bandwagon is such an important time for you in your life. And cortisol plays a massive part in this, alrighty? So women tend to chalk up all the annoying symptoms that arise in midlife to imbalances in estrogen and progesterone, which, happen. And this can definitely be a contributor. But if you dig a little deeper and you have a much better understanding of the human body in terms of the biology of it and what's going on and the chemistry that's going on in your body, you're likely to discover that stress is really the root cause of most of the chaos. And you think about how stressed women are these days. We're trying to run businesses. We're trying to run a household. We've got children. You're doing all of the mum things that we do alongside running a business. Like, our stress levels are really heightened, and it's here's why, right? Here's why. So cortisol is the mean girl already in your body's neighborhood. If we're talking about it in terms of, let's get down and get dirty. She's completely disruptive, partying all hours of the day and night, and stress is constant. Like, hands up if you're here and you are constantly feeling stress, i.e. you can feel it in your physical body with palpitations. You're crying, you're feeling really out of sorts, like not like normal, like you're not managing to get through days and things like that. Like, that's stress, guys. And she's also keeping everyone in the hormone neighborhood, i.e. the other hormones that we have being released, jacked up and wonky as well. Alrighty, so cortisol is a really tricky one. So let's look at what's happening when cortisol is running the show in your body, i.e. it's constantly high and it's not actually coming down. Hey guys, how are you? I can see some of you there. Delilah, Brenda, Amanda Cremo. How are you, ladies? I met Amanda today. We went for a walk, which was so lovely. Let's look at what's happening when cortisol is running the show in your body. Alrighty, and that can be not a good thing. Okay, so what happens is stress derails progesterone's work. Alrighty, and progesterone is our happy hormone. It keeps us calm, right? It keeps us calm. And when that starts to decrease and we've got elevated levels of estrogen, then, things are out of balance, right? So cortisol can block your body's progesterone receptors, alrighty? So you may have plenty of progesterone being made, but if cortisol is sitting in progesterone's seat, then it can't do its job, Alrighty, and the body makes cortisol at the expense of all other hormones, and progesterone can be used to make cortisol if needed. So if this is another another possible reason for low progesterone as well. Alrighty, so it actually, causes a problem when we've got cortisol sitting in progesterone's seat. Hey Pam, how are you? So also, what cortisol does is it actually decreases the sensitivity of estrogen. Alrighty, so when cortisol is high in the brain, it is less sensitive to estrogen. So hot flushes are a symptom of estrogen deficiency under normal circumstances, but in this case though, it's a signal that cortisol has altered brain sensors. Okay, so that's why hot flushes can occur in women who have reasonable estrogen levels but are experiencing lots of stress. Hence why when you go to the GP and you get a blood test, it's fucked. It's no good, ladies, because this is going on. Unless they're testing your cortisol, then they're not going to tell you that you're stressed. Or they may ask you, are you stressed? But it doesn't mean anything. So, you've got to understand what is going on here. And you have to start taking control of your own health, because no one else is going to, okay? They're just going to do their normal run-of-the-mill tests and tell you that this is normal and that you have to deal with it, alrighty? But I'm telling you that you don't, okay? But you have to know what's going on in the body to actually fully understand, where you're at and why you're experiencing the symptoms you are experiencing, alrighty? So that's why I said the hot flushes can, occur in women who do have reasonable estrogen levels. So if estrogen is added with the intention of treating the hot flushes in women whose estrogen levels are reasonable, the outcome will be weight gain in the hips, water retention, mood swings, and all the signs of too much estrogen, and the hot flushes will not go away, alrighty? So the other things that happen with cortisol also is the thyroid hormone. Okay, so your thyroid is a little butterfly-shaped gland right here. And thyroid hormone and cortisol depend on each other. Alrighty, so one of cortisol's most important functions is to work with the thyroid hormone at a cellular level. And cortisol makes the thyroid work more efficiently. Okay, so a balanced amount of cortisol, so not too high, not too low, a bit like, Goldilocks and the three bears with the hot and cold, it's really important for normal thyroid function. So many women who have an imbalance in cortisol levels may have low thyroid symptoms, but still have normal results on a thyroid test, which again, when you go to the GP and they take your thyroid test or they test, T3, T4, everything comes back normal. But you're not feeling normal and you're not feeling good and you're feeling all out of sorts, right? Yes, am I right? Ladies, thumbs up. You got to understand this, okay? And it is full on, right? Because there's more than just changes in progesterone and estrogen, which is, what people think is going on. All right, there's way more going on. There's the, what's going on with our adrenals. There's what's going on with our thyroid. Like this whole endocrine system is all linked. And, if you think that you're just going to fix it by a blood test and maybe taking some HRT, then, good luck to you. It doesn't work like that. I've looked after so many women, and so much of it comes down to more than just, a blood test, and more than just changing your diet, and more than just decreasing your stress. It's all of that, right? We're looking at an integrative approach, which is exactly what I do. So to help you, it's more that we have to work on that base level first and find out exactly what's going on before we can start making changes, alrighty, to what's going on in your body. So what else does cortisol do? It also contributes to insulin resistance and overeating. Okay, so I know a lot of people say they're really, they're always hungry, or they're craving fatty foods or all the wrong foods. So what happens under stressful conditions is cortisol provides the body with glucose by tapping into the protein stores. Alrighty, and so this energy helps you fight or flee, as in, you know, get away, a stressor basically. However, elevated cortisol consistently produces, or having too much cortisol consistently produces too much glucose. Alrighty, and what that does is it increases blood sugar levels. And since one of the main functions of cortisol is to counter the effects of insulin, essentially rendering the cells insulin resistant, you may have heard of that, the body remains in a general insulin resistant state, okay, which is when basically your cortisol levels are chronically high and they don't come down. Alrighty, so you may have heard of that over time. So what happens is the pancreas struggles to keep up with the high demand of the insulin, glucose levels in the blood remain high, and the cells cannot get the sugar they need. And the cycle basically continues. So consistently high blood glucose levels along with insulin suppression leads to cells that are starved of glucose even when blood levels are high. Alrighty, so but your cells are still crying out for energy. Alrighty, they're still needing it, so they're sending then hunger signals to the brain, and then this can lead to overeating, and any unused glucose becomes fat. Hence why we end up with that, you know, people talk about having that cortisol belly or that meno belly because of this. Alrighty, so I can't stress how important, you know, cortisol is really important. And, you know, it really does, it's often referred to obviously as the stress hormone, and it's produced by the adrenal glands. So on top of your kidneys, you have two little glands. Those are your adrenal glands. And you'll have heard of people say, you know, you've got maybe adrenal insufficiency, or, you know, referred to as a gland that, you know, is your stress hormone. So, but they also regulate your metabolism, helps control, as we talked about, your blood sugar levels, helps influence blood pressure. So some people, you know, find that they're much dizzier or getting dizzy spells when perimenopause. Affects our stress immune response as well. Aids in memory formation. So hence why you know, if cortisol's high and you're getting that brain fog, or the other way around, as you know, those hormones drop, we're getting the brain fog as well. So you can see how it's all connected, right? And it's not just about estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA. There's so much more to it. You know, the adrenal glands are so important. So things like, let me just get my proven strategies for you. So caffeine can be a bitch. It really is. So ladies, if you drink coffee first thing in the morning, my advice would be to not have caffeine on an empty stomach, because it can send your cortisol through the roof. Alrighty, so you might want to try and have something to eat first, or change it for a bone broth or a green tea or something like that, before you have a coffee. Alrighty. I know when I was going through, you know, the really bad part of perimenopause, when I was really struggling, that was really an issue for me. And the minute I stopped the coffee, I felt so much better, and as in drinking it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So once I'd eaten and changed, you know, to having something else, have it just a normal cup of tea, instead of your coffee, and then, you know, save your coffee for later on for morning tea maybe. And that is an absolute lifesaver for a lot of women, who do depend on coffee and drink coffee. What else is there? Early morning sunlight is a massive non-negotiable. So getting out in the light, okay? If you haven't got sunlight, just go outside and get that on your eyes without your sunglasses on, you know, and that is going to help you release melatonin for later on in the day. And it's also going to help with calming your system down as well. Movement. So any type of movement, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's getting up from your desk and going and just grounding yourself in the garden, whether it's you go into a HIIT session, whether you do Pilates, movement is really, really super important. Okay, so a lot of women stop moving because their joints are hurting and they're aching and they feel like they can't, they can't do the exercise that they were doing. You don't have to be going for a run. That's supposed to be causing more inflammation and causing your cortisol levels to stay high. So I would just look at what you're doing and really change up your exercise routine. Alrighty. Getting protein. 30 grams per meal, guys. 90 grams a day. Again, non-negotiable. When I'm working with my clients, you need protein. And if you want to know more about that, then you can obviously book a chat with me and we can go through that, and I can talk you through why that is so important. Connection with friends and significant others, so getting out and about. So we all know we get into our funks, right, and we go inward. And I know with winter, some people, go with those seasons and they feel a bit sort of, hibernation. They want to go into a bit of hibernation, that's fine. But it's really important that we try and get out and socialize, especially, like myself, I've moved a lot. I don't have those, friendship groups from schools and things like that. So for me, it's really important to, to meet and hang out with really good people. And balanced meals, alrighty? So, getting away from the high carbs, the fats, we really need to balance that insulin and cortisol because they really are correlated together. It's so important that we're eating 5 to 6 cups of veggies a day, like cooked veggies, because our gut doesn't cope very well with uncooked stuff when we're going through this phase as well. So if you can up your vegetables, cooked vegetables, your gut will thank you for that as well. And it's more likely that your body will be actually able to absorb it, utilize the nutrients, and give you the energy that you need from the food. So ladies, I hope that's been helpful. If you are trying to keep cortisol under control is critical for overall good health, all right, particularly in perimenopause. There's different tests that you can do to look at cortisol testing methods. There's saliva and urine, which one of them is the Dutch test. I don't use that one, but I know a lot of people do. But there's ways that you can test to see what's going on with cortisol. And I think, when you get your body under control and you realize, maybe that stress is causing a lot of that, it doesn't take much really to, do a bit of breath work or change your diet up a little bit, or, change what you're doing before you go to bed, those types of things. So some of it is really, habits that you have to change, and you have to change them for the rest of your life if you want your body to, feel good, and you don't want to feel stressed, and you don't want to feel out of sorts. You want to be able to sleep well. So, ladies, if you're looking for help, then you can contact me through, obviously, this page or in the group. I basically do a 15-minute initial consultation with you. And then if I feel that I can help you and, what I do is going to be able to help you, then we jump on a 45-minute call, which is like a health discovery call to, look at your history and go through where you're at. And then from there, it's a case of, okay, so what package is going to be best for you? And I work with, putting in the right labs for you. It's very tailored to your needs as an individual, and not cookie cutter, dealing just with providing you just with a program that you can run through on your own. So yeah, ladies, if you're looking for help, then please reach out for a chat. I don't want any women to, be sitting there not knowing what to do. And even if I'm not the right person for you, I've got such a great network of people I can refer you to. There's always someone that, is going to be able to help you. But no woman should be sitting here, in a state of, I don't know what to do because I feel so crap, or, feeling like you just want to end your life because that's where some women get to, right? And that is not okay. It's not okay. And, you know, to be told by your doctor that you just have to get on with it because it's just a time in your life, that is not okay either, because there's plenty of stuff that we can do. So please reach out, ladies, for help if you need it. Otherwise, obviously, there's plenty of information in this group. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you again next Monday. Have a great week ahead, and have a think about how you can start maybe lowering those cortisol levels. Alrighty, have a good one. Take care. Bye for now.